milk. It's been a staple in many diets for centuries, but where did it all begin? The story of milk consumption starts about 11,000 years ago. This was with the rise of agriculture and the domestication of animals like cows. Early humans realized that these animals could provide a steady source of nutrient-rich food, milk. This new food source was a game changer. Milk provided essential nutrients that were scarce at times. It likely offered a survival advantage to those early populations who could digest it. But not everyone could benefit equally from this new food source. The ability to digest lactose, the sugar in milk, varies greatly among people. This ability is determined by the presence of an enzyme called lactase. Infants produce lactase naturally, but this ability often diminishes after weaning. This decline in lactase production leads to a condition known as lactose intolerance. The domestication of animals and the rise of milk consumption had a profound impact on human evolution. It led to genetic adaptations, shaping our ability to digest lactose even into adulthood. But this adaptation is not universal, leading to varying rates of lactose intolerance throughout the world. Lactose intolerance is surprisingly common. It affects about 65% of the global population. This means that a majority of adults worldwide experience some level of discomfort after consuming dairy products. Symptoms can range from mild bloating to more severe digestive issues. The prevalence of lactose intolerance varies significantly across different geographical regions. In East Asia, where dairy consumption has not been historically prevalent, the rate of lactose intolerance is extremely high, reaching up to 90%. In contrast, populations in Northern Europe and North America, where dairy has been a dietary mainstay for centuries, have much lower rates, typically around 5 to 15%. This variation highlights the role of genetics and cultural practices in shaping our ability to digest lactose. The persistent consumption of dairy in some regions led to a genetic advantage, allowing people to digest lactose throughout their lives. For those with lactose intolerance, consuming dairy can be problematic, but it's important to remember that there are solutions. Lactose-free milk and dairy products are widely available. These products are treated with an enzyme that breaks down lactose, making them easier to digest. Milk has long been touted as a nutritional powerhouse, rich in calcium and vitamin D, both essential for bone health. It's also a good source of protein and other vital nutrients. But in recent years, the health effects of milk have been under scrutiny. Some studies suggest a potential link between high milk consumption and an increased risk of certain cancers, including breast, colon, and prostate cancer. However, it's important to note that these studies are observational and don't prove causation. Other studies have found no such link, and some even suggest a protective effect of milk against colon cancer, possibly due to its calcium content. The relationship between milk and cardiovascular health is equally complex. Some research suggests that milk consumption might have a slightly positive impact on blood pressure, but the evidence is weak. Overall, large-scale studies have not found a clear link between milk consumption and an increased risk of heart disease, stroke, or overall mortality. One area where there seems to be a stronger link is the relationship between milk consumption and acne. Studies have shown that skimmed milk, in particular, is associated with an increased risk of acne, especially in children and adolescents. The exact mechanisms behind this link are still being investigated, but it's thought to be related to hormones and other compounds found in milk. Despite these potential concerns, it's crucial to remember that milk remains a valuable source of nutrition for many, especially in regions where access to a diverse diet is limited. Milk can provide essential nutrients that are difficult to obtain from other sources. While milk offers nutritional benefits, its production also has significant environmental impacts. Dairy farming is a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions, accounting for about 3% of global emissions. These emissions come from various sources, including methane produced by cows, manure management, and energy use for feed production and transportation. Land use is another significant concern associated with milk production. Dairy farming requires vast amounts of land for grazing and growing feed crops. This contributes to deforestation, habitat loss, and biodiversity decline. Additionally, the production of animal feed often relies heavily on fertilizers and pesticides, which can pollute waterways and harm wildlife. In recent years, plant-based milk alternatives such as soy milk, almond milk, and oat milk have surged in popularity. These alternatives generally have a lower environmental footprint than cow's milk, requiring less land, water, and energy to produce. They also produce fewer greenhouse gas emissions. Furthermore, advancements in food technology are paving the way for even more sustainable alternatives. Lab-grown dairy, produced by culturing milk proteins without the need for cows, is an emerging field with the potential to significantly reduce the environmental impact of milk production. However, it's important to consider that plant-based milk alternatives are not without their drawbacks. They can sometimes lack certain nutrients found naturally in cow's milk, such as calcium and vitamin B12. However, many brands now fortify their products to match the nutritional profile of cow's milk. Ultimately, the choice between cow's milk and plant-based alternatives depends on individual needs, preferences, and access. Consumers should weigh the nutritional benefits of milk against its environmental impact and explore the growing range of plant-based options available.